Let's go into our second half because this is just as important too. Continuing to use Windows XP could make you more vulnerable to hackers. What happened with Windows XP? Why did Microsoft stop supporting that?
So Windows XP first came out in 2001. It's an old operating system. That's about 120 years in digital years. Wow. There's been several updates. There's been Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8 now. I think we're on Windows 8.1 now.
8.1, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a very old operating system, and Microsoft simply can't afford to keep releasing updates and patches for an operating system that's that old. So they've decided, actually as of last month, to stop officially supporting Windows XP, which means they're not going to be issuing any new patches. So security updates may or may not be released. There was an issue for Internet Explorer that came out a few weeks ago that Microsoft did decide to release a patch for, but officially they're under no obligation anymore to continue supporting that operating system.
Okay, so for all the people that watch this show and they're standing at their window about ready to throw their computer out the window, they don't have to do that, right?
Yeah. I mean, ideally, it's time to upgrade their computer. It depends on how old their computer is. If it's a 12-year-old computer when Windows XP first came out, then it may not run the current operating system because it requires more resources than their old computer can pony up. So it might be time to upgrade the computer, but you can also look at upgrading just the operating system on your existing computer. So you can buy Windows 7 or Windows 8. Both are still available, and they're about $100 usually to buy the operating system.
As opposed to buying the whole new computer.
Right. Now, computers are so cheap nowadays.
They've really come down, haven't they?
Yeah, they're about a third cheaper than they were when Windows XP first came out. And you can get, and in fact, Microsoft is offering people $100 discount if they will bring in an old XP system into certain retailers and upgrade to a new Windows 8 system. Microsoft's giving $100.
Like a credit for the new Windows. Wow, that's nice.
So, they're really encouraging people to get rid of their old computers and upgrade to the new one.
So how many people are affected by this non-support of Windows XP now?
So the estimate is that about 26% market share for XP right now. It went down about 1% in the last month or so because of all the press that the XP retirement has been getting. But there's still a lot of systems out there, and it's actually pretty widely used in business too. About 75% of the water companies, for instance, in the world use XP. So a lot of systems, it was very popular for kiosks and ATMs.
Okay.
A lot of ATMs run Windows XP. A lot of industrial systems run Windows XP because it's a fairly light, compact, and easy-to-use operating system. So it was deployed in a lot of systems that you wouldn't normally think of, like ATMs and
high-use, high-volume type of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah.
Wow. Now, I was reading a little bit about it because I'm not really computer savvy, but what about the Microsoft Security Essentials? I was reading something about that. Security Essentials, does that leave your PC vulnerable?
So Security Essentials is going away as well. It's kind of like an antivirus.
Okay.
Now, most of the antivirus vendors, the third-party antivirus vendors like McAfee and Symantec, and Trend Micro, and Sophos, those guys have committed to continue to support XP for at least another year, sometimes two.
Okay. Give you some time to do the updates.
Yeah, but again, antivirus is becoming less and less effective. So that risk is going to continue to grow. So we're really encouraging people to upgrade to the latest operating system, if not upgrading their computer entirely. But if they do need to stick with Windows XP because of some application they're running that doesn't work with the newer version, for instance, we're recommending that at least they use a different browser other than Internet Explorer.
Oh, okay.
And those browsers are going to continue to be updated, like Google Chrome, for instance, or Firefox.
Firefox, right.
Those browsers, a lot of the vulnerabilities.
What about Safari?
Safari, yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of the vulnerabilities that come out are related to the browser, to Internet Explorer. So by using an alternate browser, you can continue to get updates on your browser and use those alternate browsers, and that will keep you safe. Also, if you can, just shut it off and just use it when you need to use it, power it on when you need to use it. Other than that, just leave it off and unplugged.
Because when you leave it off, then hackers can't get into it.
Hackers can't get to it, right.
Is it a good idea, with that statement, is it a good idea for all of us at the end of the day before you go to bed, turn the computers off?
I leave my computers on, but I have a firewall. I've got protections on my computers.
But just say a family computer or
Yeah,
something that.
I would say it's generally good hygiene to turn your computer off. You never know what it's doing, when you leave it alone. If it has a bot on it, if a hacker's managed to get some software on there, it might be being used at night to attack somebody else. You never know. So I'd say it's good practice.
So if in a 24-hour day you're only on it for like a couple hours, just turn it on for the couple hours and turn it off for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and you save power.
Then you don't. Yeah, not only that, but then you're not at risk, right, of being on there when they're trying to find all the information.
Right. So it reduces your attack surface, we like to call it. So your computer's not on, so it can't be attacked. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Is there anything else that we need to know now as far as computers are coming from your department with IT?
I think just, really pushing the password managers now and using strong passwords, which is becoming easier now. You have these password managers that keep track of all your passwords for you.
I like that. Because right now, they tell you not to leave it on your cell phone, but so many of us have it on our cell phones because we don't know. We can't remember all of them.
Right. And I've seen people say, well, don't write your passwords down. But, honestly, if it means writing your password down for you to have a strong password and sticking it on your monitor at home, that's safer than having a weak password because a hacker's not going to come into your house to get your sticky off your monitor. So that's not, terrible advice. But, you try to leverage one of these password managers. They're usable on your smartphones as well as your desktop.
But then if your computer is in a high traffic area, you definitely don't want to put anything.
Don't want to do that at work. It'd be only in your home. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I like the idea of password phrases today. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's kind of an easy way now to generate your own kind of easy to remember password.
I saw something online. Somebody said, "I scaled Mount Everest." Of course, you never did, but
Sure. Anything that's easy to remember, and you could say, my third son's name is George, and that's a strong password, even though it has information about you that a hacker might know. He's not going to be able to determine that exact phrase. So
well, and then you can group words together. So you see, my third can be together in one word, right?
Yep.
Then there's a space, and then or any which way.
You can use the number 3 for third, or spell out third.
Put a dot in between.
Absolutely. So there's a million ways to do it, and they're easier for people to remember. Passphrases are. So we encourage those.
Okay. Are there still emails coming out? I know at one time there were a lot of emails coming out where you'd say, my nephew is in wherever, another country, and he's in trouble, he got arrested, and we need money. Are those emails still coming out?
Yeah, and actually they're trending more towards using Facebook and the social media for those types of things now. That's called the stranded traveler scam. And
stranded traveler scam.
Yeah, so people will.
It has a name.
So people will get credentials for somebody's Facebook account by using maybe Heartbleed or something like that, and then they'll log into a Facebook account, and then they'll make a post saying, and all their friends read this. They're saying, I'm stuck in the UK. I had to make an emergency trip for a job interview or something. I got mugged.
Something believable, right?
And so all their friends say this and start sending them money when in fact that person.
Or their friends start sharing it with their friends, and all of a sudden you've got a million people reading this.
And all these people are sending $100 or $200 to help their friend out, but it's not their friend at all. So you really need to be skeptical about things that you see on Facebook and especially in email as well.
Pick up the phone and say, "Are you in?"
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of emails now from people, from scammers, and it's saying that you have a new message or you've got a voicemail or a fax, something like that.
I saw one that came in that said, "Your voicemail is full," or "Your inbox is full.
Yeah.
Please contact us," or "Please click on this." It was like a site. Click on this site too.
Absolutely.
Open it up or.
Very popular. The scammers will try to make you think that there's something wrong with some account that you have. And you need to click on this link that they've provided. And 99 times out of 100, that link goes to a site that's going to install a virus on your computer or steal your credit card information or just the credentials to get into your email system.
All right, so update your Windows XP, update the computer, or at least at the browser, right? At least the browser. What is the difference between, is Mac or is Windows or Microsoft more vulnerable is a PC more vulnerable than a Macintosh?
Well, there have been vulnerabilities on Macintosh as well.
Both sides, okay.
The thing that's saving Apple right now is that they don't have the market share that Microsoft does. So hackers will go after the biggest
The majority,
footprints, right?
yeah.
And so their focus is on Windows right now, but we are seeing an uptick in Mac malware. So they're not invulnerable. So the same.
So don't just sit back and think,
Yeah.
nah, they'll never get me.
Exactly. The same security hygiene that you use on your Windows computer, you need to also keep up on your Mac. So, for instance, your email, if you're using Yahoo, for instance, that doesn't care whether you're accessing on a Mac or a Windows computer. That's Yahoo. They're the ones managing the security for that. So what platform you're using to access your email doesn't really matter in those cases.
Okay. Oh my goodness. There's just so many things. Technology is good, but sometimes it seems so risky.
It moves very quickly. And the hackers are very good, and they're well funded, and they're very smart. So it's an
Where
arms
are
race.
these hackers?
So a lot of times they're coming out of China or Russia, but even then they'll route their traffic through United States computers to make it look like they're coming from the U.S. So
Now, are there layers of hackers where you can't? It's hard for the authorities to find them. Is that
absolutely,
it?
yeah. A lot of
They
times,
get paid to do this.
very often. There's big money in these scams. So there's organized crime has moved into cybercrime. And actually, there's nation states that are hacking companies to get intelligence or to get information.
So this
about
information they get right away, does that go into an identity theft type of a ring?
It can. It depends on the nature of the information. What we're seeing now is hackers will go into a company, they'll penetrate the company, and then they'll just hoover up all the information. They'll grab
Everything.
everything they can find.
Whether they think they need it now or not, they just grab it.
And then they use a data broker to figure out if any of it's worth
my
anything.
goodness.
So they'll hoover it all up, and then they'll sell it out piecemeal.
Okay, so for any hackers out there that are watching this show, why shouldn't they should not be doing this? Because why? They'll get arrested.
Hopefully they'll get arrested. Yes.
We will find you.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Wow, but hey, as long as Bo is on the prowl there, then we'll be okay. How does an everyday person who is not associated with a big corporation that has an IT department like you, how do they stay on top of all of this?
Well, it's very challenging because new vulnerabilities come out every day. So you really have to stay plugged in. There's mailing lists that people can subscribe to that comes out with the new vulnerabilities as they come out. You get an email. And then also the vendors that you use. Hopefully you're keeping your support contracts up for like Cisco and the vendors that you use in your network. And they'll also issue security advisories when things come out. So, but it's really a challenge. The new things come out every day. They may or may not impact you, so you got to look at the day's vulnerabilities and see if it impacts
Well,
you.
and then there's so many people that are not very computer savvy. You know, we use it for simple things like you said, maybe just do a quick banking or a bill paying or whatever it is, and we don't know about all this Heartbleed and all these other viruses that are out there and the scams that are out there.
Well, one thing that small businesses can do, for instance, because they don't have staff and they don't have experience in this area, they can hire managed security services companies. HT, we have a managed security services practice. So we will come into a small company, set up security for them, and then monitor using our 24/7 monitoring service.
Oh.
And a lot of companies do that. There are companies that make their living monitoring small businesses for security.
Oh, that's nice to know. I didn't know that was out there.
So that's one thing that small companies can do.
I mean, they're so busy just trying to keep their company afloat, let alone sitting in the background trying to figure out is this a scam, is this a virus?
It's a full-time job, and we have many people at Hawaiian Tel who are focused on security.
Oh, it's not just you.
Right. So and small companies can't afford to spend that kind of money on this issue.
Right,
So
right.
A lot of them will outsource that to people that are experienced in doing it.
Oh my goodness. Bo, thank you so much. Bo Monday with
pleasure.
Hawaiian Telcom.
Always a pleasure.
Please send your comments to TBN PO Box A, Santa Ana, California 92711. You may also reach us at www.tbn.org. Have a great day.